At this point, both Senior and Joliet West are the top two teams in the team scoring. Waukegan West finds themselves in a position of also challenging for a trophy.
Also, we want to keep an eye on Suggs to see if he shows any effects from the apparent muscle pull he had suffered earlier in the relay race. Runners again are called into their blocks. The fastest time, Darrell Mathis of Lockport. He's in lane 5. He ran 47.8 in the sectionals. He was 3rd in this event a year ago. Eric Evenson in lane 1 was 6th a year ago.
Set. This is the Class AA 400-meter dash.
This is the AA 400 finals. Looking strong very early is Philip Bryan from Waukegan West in the white over green. You see him there. He's the second from your screen. There you take a look at him. He's made quite a bit of a stagger already. They're at the halfway point. 200 meters left. Suggs is way back.
Anthony Jones is pulling out.
Suggs is going to finish last, perhaps, and Jones is pulling out. Both of them had apparently suffered injuries earlier. It's going to be down the stretch, Darrell Mathis of Lockport. Waukegan West, Philip Bryan. On the outside, Christopher Pulley from East St. Louis Senior, who may have picked up 4th. Looked like 3rd was Eric Evenson. Darrell Mathis. Jogging to the finish right now down the stretch is Jones of Danville. He wants to finish and get a point.
And I'll tell you, he won't. Suggs from East St. Louis Senior jogged a little bit faster, and it was a smart move. It didn't look pretty, but it did preserve 1 point for the 8th place finish.
Exactly. That's a big point for East St. Louis Senior. Take a look now going into the turn. Darrell Mathis, who was 3rd, I should say, in the 200 a year ago, not in this event. But he was 3rd in the 200 dash in 1989. Again, he had the fastest time. And we go ahead to the finish, and we see Mathis there in the maroon trunks, the yellow top. Philip Bryan, the sophomore from Waukegan West. An impressive race for the youngster. So there's Mathis, there's Bryan. 3rd place for Christopher Pulley of East St. Louis Senior. That's 6 points. Plus 1 more for the 8th place finish. They pick up 7 points in that race. They might look at the 400 as being the pivotal race of the afternoon. So there you had it, the AA 400-meter run final.
With 37, the leader in the AA level after 13 events.
Our next event, the Class A 300-meter intermediate hurdles. John Hartley of Woodstock Marion in 1, Scott Lay of Flanagan in 2, Rich Kozlowski of Canelan in 3, Neil Garrison of St. Joe Ogden in 4, Matt McLean of IMSA out of Aurora is in 5, Mike Morley of Rochester in 6, Ken DeMars Watsika in 7, Greg Rink of Maple Park Canelan in 8, and Tom Gregory Rossville Alvin in 9th. In lane 1, John Hartley, the quarterback for their state champion football team last fall. He's been in both hurdles, and he also threw the shot today, 51 feet, 3.5 inches, to finish 8th.
Just a great athlete.
A hurdler shot putter. That's a very unusual combination. Right now, an early lead from Matt McLean of Illinois Math and Science Academy out of Aurora. He's in the light blue over gray, and coming off the turn, he's got the lead. Mike Morley of Rochester in the orange over blue, running alongside is in second. Also coming up, Neil Garrison of St. Joe Ogden. But right now, it's a 2-man race. McLean with the lead. Morley charging. 1 hurdle to go. And McLean goes down, and Morley wins. Oh, my. What a finish. He tripped over the last hurdle. Remember in the 110 highs how he kept going through hurdles. He didn't seem to be very sharp. And the last hurdle upset Matt McLean, who had the fastest time in the state going in at 38.9. And Mike Morley of Rochester, who had the 3rd fastest time at 39.7, running the qualifying preliminaries yesterday, finishes in 1st. Into the turn. It's becoming a 2-man race there between their central figures, McLean and Morley. Let's watch McLean go over the hurdle, see if he has any troubles here, Lee.
Oh, he's run the first 200 meters of this race very well. Leads with the left leg around the curve. It's very efficient.
I think he began to feel the pressure. He knew he had a man with him. He knew Morley was there, and he put a little extra too much in that last hurdle. He never cleared it. Never got the foot over it. Nearly took out Morley.
So often you will see that last hurdle.
Take a look. He clipped it there, and that upset his steps. You can see him losing his balance a little bit. Morley finishing strong. He senses, he sees him right there.
He tries to run through the last hurdle, and at that point, he just can't do it.
Didn't have enough. He goes down. Morley is the winner. And finishing second in lane 7, Ken DeMars of Watseka. And in third in lane 4, Neil Garrison of St. Joe Ogden. And there is Morley with the win. Let's go right now as we continue action in the Class AA 300-meter intermediate hurdles. James Losser of Elmhurst Yorks in lane 1. Jaron Williams of Rock Island in 2. Carl Long of Danville in 3. John Strickland of Glenbrook South in 4. Ray McElroy, Proviso West in 5. Mitchell Weatherspoon, Decatur MacArthur in 6. Terry Collins, Joliet West in 7. Big event for Joliet West. Matt Bluen of Eisenhower's in 8, and Melvin Roberts of Thornton is in 9. And it was Roberts who had to rerun the race by himself yesterday. Not L.C. Brown, but it was a Thornton Wildcat nonetheless. There is the favorite. You see him right there, John Strickland, and they call the runners up.
Lane Simons in the AA intermediates. Loser 1, Williams 2.
Carl Long, though, does have the fastest time, as he ran 37.4 in the sectionals. He was 9th a year ago. Strickland has the second fastest time at 37.6. He was 7th a year ago and is the top returnee at 39.95. Ray McElroy, Proviso West, the third fastest time at 39.41. Also, you don't want to overlook James Losser of York, who has been an impressive hurdler with wins at the Mustang Invitational at Downers Grove South and the Prospect Invitational. He ran 38.7, his fastest times in sectional qualifying a week ago. Runners are back into their blocks. Long's in 3 for Danville. Strickland's in 4 for Glenbrook South. McElroy, Proviso West, is in 5.
Set.
Clean start. They're even at the first hurdle, although Long has moved out with a slight edge after the second hurdle. It's Carl Long of Danville as they head into the turn. Looking strong up in the inside, James Losser of York in lane 1. But it's Long. Now next to him, it is Strickland. Strickland challenging Long with 2 hurdles to go. It's Strickland going by Long, 1 hurdle left. Strickland, Long, McElroy of Proviso West, and then Collins finishing in 4th. Not good for the team battle for Joliet West.
After 13 events, East St. Louis Senior led 38-37 over Joliet West. This event, of course, doesn't figure into it. But Joliet West may take the lead.
So once again, the top returning from a year ago in John Strickland, you see there, number 392, comes to claim the trophy the next year. Early in the race, we picked up all by himself John Strickland. He ran 39.1 winning at Deerfield, was also the winner in this event at the Lake Forest Invitational, and set a meet record at Glenbard South on May the 5th of 37.8. At this point, Long had a lead, though, Lee.
He did. He'd eaten up a little bit of the stagger.
See him get to the hurdle just ahead. This race has become the sprint in between the hurdles. But still, you have a very precise step pattern.
Well, indeed, that barrier is 36 inches high. I've run this race myself, and I'll tell you, at this point in the race, if you run all out, those 36-inch barriers start to seem much higher.
They start looking more like the Sears Tower than
indeed
something 3 feet high. The last 2 hurdles, they were even. It was right after that hurdle that Strickland surged ahead of Long of Danville. And there's the last hurdle. And you see not a very stylish last hurdle for Long.
It's critical that you clear that last hurdle smoothly.
And there you see, he knew he'd won it, as John Strickland of Glenbrook South's the champion in the AA 300-meter intermediate hurdles.
Eastern Illinois University is serving as host of the two classes.
And we're getting ready now for the Class A 1,600 meter run finals. This is the metric mile, as it were, 4 laps around the track. Among the participants here, the leading performer so far this season for Class A, Phil Swenson of Leland at 4:24.81. As you see Phil right there, as he's going for the double. He was third in this event a year ago at 4:27.64. On a day like today, it's a rather warm, muggy day. A double is going to be very, very difficult in terms of physical endurance. These are some marvelously conditioned athletes. There's Dan Schisler of Avon. Schisler, the second fastest time this year, 4:24.88. He was 7th a year ago. And there's the defending cross-country champ, John Eggenberger, who was also in the 3,200 meter run. 4 laps around the track here in the Class A 1,600 meter run. The Class A record is 4:16.8, set by Greg Hill of Freeburg in 1981. The best time ever in the IHSA finals, 4:07.1 by my former teammate Andy Isla-Rubert of Proviso West in 1968. Andy now a doctor down in Central Florida and cannot believe the record has still stood for over 20 years. We're in the first lap. Right now, the early leader is Barry Pierman of Georgetown Ridge Farm. He is a freshman. Underclassmen don't usually fare well in these events down here in the finals, but it's great experience for them.
I've seen it perform with mixed results. Sometimes kids come down here not knowing they're not supposed to do well and end up surprising everybody. On the other hand, experience has been a real positive influence for a lot of veteran performers.
A 64 first 400 meters at his 4:16 pace, which would be well past the best time so far this year, which again is Phil Swenson's 4:24.81.
In 5th place, Matt McLean, Aurora, Illinois Mass Science Academy.
Right now, the early leader, Dan Schisler of Avon, ran a qualifying time of 4:24.88 yesterday, which is the second fastest time in the state.
In 2nd place, Ken DeMarcy,
and the freshman right next to him, Barry Pierman of Georgetown Ridge Farm, but still very much a pack. Eggenberger ran 9:34.63 and finishing second in the Class A 3,200 meter run earlier today. Schisler finished 5th at 9:34.91. You've got several who are doubling today. That is such a demanding final day. 2:13. They're still on pace right now. Well, they slowed up now to about a 4:26 pace. As that lap slowed down to about 74 after a 64.
They seem to be content to run together in a pack. Nobody wanting to take charge, but I think we'll see something on this 3rd lap.
Schisler, Swenson, now moving up into 3rd from Chicago University, Dan McGinn. As now you've got a 5-man pack. Also joining that pack is Steve Failing, a sophomore from Wheaton St. Francis. Couple of underclassmen up there.
Showing a lot of composure.
Your leader,
Phil Swenson.
Phil Swenson of Leland.
Right now is the leader.
Of Wheaton St. Francis in the 2nd position.
Swenson going for the double win. He won the 3,200 meters earlier today at 9:26.22. I have enough trouble running 2 miles in a day, let alone another 3rd mile at these competitive paces. 1 lap to go. They're 3:21. Schisler moves into the lead. Going up in the 2nd is McGinn from Chicago University. Now he wants to take the lead.
3:31.
And going out with McGinn is Swenson.
McGinn of Chicago University.
Swenson right behind McGinn. Schisler in 3rd. Faley of Wheaton St. Francis in 4th. The freshman Pierman has fallen back into 5th. Now Faley moves into 3rd. He wants to make it a 3-man race.
He looks strong.
And now you wonder if Swenson's got enough after that winning performance in the 3,200 meters.
Find out if he's a survivor.
He's pressing McGinn right now, coming off the final turn. Just over 100 meters to go. It's becoming a sprint. Swenson pulls into the lead. He's going to win them both, the 32 and the 1,600 meters. Unofficially, 4:24.12. The fastest time in Class A in the state this year. What a double today for Leland's Phil Swenson. I think he'll sleep well tonight. Then again, maybe not. What an exciting day for him.
I'm sure sooner or later he's going to sleep well. He's had a great day.
Let's go back and take a look and see right on this lap where he takes command. You see McGinn bidding to take the lead. This is on the final lap now. And then Swenson goes by Schisler. It looked like it was going to become a two-man race. Then Faley came on to try to press him and came up with a very strong kick to finish third.
Faley did move up with 200 meters to go, ran the final turn behind the 2 leaders, and just showed a great deal of composure for an underclassman. I'm very impressed. I'm sure he'll be a factor in the next year or two.
But there you go. They're approaching now. About 200 meters to go at that point. And there you see Faley coming into the picture, the sophomore from Wheaton St. Francis. And I'll tell you what, Swenson, that's confidence. Taking him on the turn, running a little extra distance. And we come down to the last few. We see Swenson going by McGinn as he sees the string, and a now today rare double victory.
Just an outstanding day for the young man.
And you see he wins it by about good 5 yards, 5-6 yards, with McGinn finishing in second. So that's the Class A 1,600 meters. Now in the Double A, oh, what a field they've assembled here. This one ought to be outstanding. You've got the 2 Millers from Schaumburg, Rick and Ron, the twins. Rick has the fastest time at 4:15.5. Scott Lilly of Schaumburg also in there. What a threesome. I checked that. Lilly, of course, ran the 3200s. He did not qualify for this, but still, what a threesome they had through the year.
Talk about what an opportunity to prepare for this level of competition. They have an opportunity to not only race together, they train together, and certainly I'm sure they've all helped one another throughout the course of their high school careers.
Also, Nick Thiel, who was 30 a year ago, is the top returning finisher. There you take a look at number 576. That is Rick Miller of Schaumburg. And there is Brother Ron, who has run 4:18.6, the third fastest time. Was a little bit confused there seeing, of course, Lilly's name, but the essence was they had the top 3 times for Schaumburg in this event this season. Nick Thiel of Naperville North has the 4th fastest time at 4:18.7. Al Cabot of York has the 5th fastest at 4:19.83. He ran at Downers Grove South's Friday night meet.
In second place, Carl Long.
Also, you've got Art Simers. Well, he has been always among the leaders, be it cross-country or distance event, the last couple of years from that strong Bensenville-Fenton program. He was 9th a year ago at 4:25.17. He'll start on the pole, by the way. The Double A final record
1,600-meter run
is 4:07.45 by Mark Deedy of Prairie View Stevenson in the 85 finals. They're off and running in the Double A metric mile.
Talos Hill Spag, Darian Pedota, Summit Argo, Eric Henson, Springfield, Sacred Heart, Ripon, John Yaruso, St. Charles, Rick Miller, Schaumburg High School, Al Cabot, Elmhurst.
Simers has the inside. They cut for the inside lane. And that is Rick Miller taking the lead on the backstretch.
Robert Gary, Evanston Township. The leader is Rick Miller of Schaumburg
Rick Miller
High
right
School.
now with the lead. On his inside is Simers from Bensenville-Fenton. He's also a senior.
On the pole, that is Art Siemers, Bensenville-Fenton.
And then on the outside, from Naperville North, that is Nick Thiel. He is a junior, and he's been a dandy the last year.
In white over orange, it is Rick Miller of Schaumburg, and
Right now, Miller with Field and Simers right behind. At the first quarter, they're 64. Again, 4:16 pace. But these runners, unlike perhaps we saw in Class A, these runners are very capable of sustaining that 64 pace. Two trains of thought, Lee. You go out and take charge from the start and say, catch me if you can, or you sit back in the pack. Miller looks like he's really challenging the pack now. He is lengthening out his lead and going out a little quicker right now.
He certainly has opened it up. You know, at this point, you cannot lose concentration if you're back there in 4th, 5th, or 6th. If you've got your eyes down, you'll let that race get away from you. And before you know it, you're going to have a real tough time trying to come back.
It's called losing contact.
Yes, indeed.
Miller, as we approach the halfway point, Fields second, Simers third. The battle now for 4th. That's Nelson from Stagg moving up in the 4th place. Check that. That is Chris Grant on Stagg. 2:06 at the 800 meters.
Setting a blistering pace.
You know, the word had it. He was going to set his eyes on the AA record today. He was going out to get it.
Well, there was talk about breaking the 4:10 barrier, and of course the conditions are much better than they were yesterday.
Right now, Miller controls it with Nick Field second, Simers third. And it looks like that is Adam Boardman now moving up in the 4th place. Yes, Adam Boardman, the junior from Geneseo Darnell, leads the pack for 4th. Miller has led it from the start. Early this season, Rick ran 4:27.9, then won the Palatine Relays, running 4:16.9. Then posted the fastest sectional time at 4:15.5, qualified yesterday at 4:25.8. 3:10 with a lap to go. He is setting a blistering pace, Lee Holbert.
He's going to have to do it by himself unless Thiel will close the gap here in the next 200 meters.
I think Thiel right now says, I'm doing well just to stay where I am. He doesn't appear to be running very comfortably right now.
No, but he's not giving up any more yardage either in the last 400 meters.
Simers third, and that's Ron Miller moving up in the 4th. Rick's brother. And Boardman now of Geneseo Darnell is in 5th. Rick Miller entering the final turn.
Now in the 3rd position, that is Ron Miller.
He and brother Ron are twins. They are seniors.
From Geneseo Darnell, Adam Boardman.
Here comes Rick Miller. We just passed the 4-minute mark.
Rick Miller, Schaumburg High School.
The crowd brings him home. Nick Field has run a strong race in 2nd. Ron Miller 3rd.
Adam Boardman, Geneseo Darnell.
4:12. Unofficially 4:14, and that would be the best time this year in the state of Illinois. It is short of the AA mark of 4:07.45. Unofficially 4:14.8 for Rick Miller. And Ron finishing 3rd with Nick Field of Naperville North finishing in 2nd. Well, I tell you what, that was a textbook race for Rick Miller. He said, all right, I'm going to see which one of you has the guts to go out with me. And he went ahead. He led from the very start. He led wire to wire, and that is very impressive when you're running in a field that has this much talent. You see he's there right now running in lane 3. They'll cut for the inside pole. This is right off the start, folks. This is the very first turn. There's Simers of Bensonville Fenton on the inside. But when they're allowed to cut for the pole, they went by the markers. He takes the lead and says, all right, guys, follow me. I know the way. And he covered the 1,600 meters in a little over 4 minutes and 14 seconds, winning it comfortably over Nick Thiel, a junior. And then brother Ron Miller comes in to finish 3rd. So a great day for Schaumburg and the Miller clan, and a landmark day for that great distance program at Schaumburg. You're tired, but it's a great kind of tired, isn't it, Lee?
It's all worth it at that point.
What a way to cap off a great high school career for Rick Miller. Attention all track and field fans. This Saturday, June 2nd, Sports Channel brings you the men's and women's Big Ten Track and Field Championship from the U of I in Champaign. Some of our Olympic hopefuls of the future will be there, and you should be too. Saturday, June 2nd at noon, the Big Ten Track Championships on Sports Channel. We're getting ready for the Class A 200-meter dash finals. There is a legacy. Steve Conley of Luther South, who has one of the fastest times in this event this year at 22.7. But of course his older brother, Mike Conley, two-time winner in 1980, the long jump and the triple jump, and then a four-time winner in 81, an amazing one day for a track athlete in the state of Illinois, as Mike in 81 won the long jump, triple jump, 100-yard dash and 200-yard dash. Oh, by the way, yes, there's Lou Beach Graves, too. He's also in this event. He is the odds-on favorite. He has the fastest time. He is the two-time defending champ. Earlier this year, he ran 21.37. He won this event in a time of 21.66 a year ago. And he is going now for his sixth individual title in 3 years. He has won the 100 now, 3 straight years. This would be the 3rd straight year he will have won the 200.
Very impressive career, to say the least.
Other lane assignments: George Palmer of Monticello in 1, Conley's in 2, Drake Efron of Greenville's in 3, Scott Earl of Aledo in 4, Graves in 5, Mark McLean of Freeport Aquins in 6, Andre Rush of Belleville Altoff in 7, Chris Talbot of Sidell Jamaica's in 8, and Cortez Williams of Belleville Altoff is in 9. Efron has the second fastest time. He ran 22 flat in the sectionals. He was second to Graves a year ago, so the top 2 return 1 year later. In fact, you've got the 5 fastest times: McLean, Rush, and Earl at times 3, 4, and 5 in Class A.
Set.
A clean start for the Class A 200-meter dash. Already in front is LaBeach Graves. He has the most explosive start I have ever seen for a high school sprinter.
He has led this race from step 1.
From the gun, it's been LaBeach Graves. Efron battling for second. So is Mark McLean of Freeport Aquin. It is Graves, unofficially 21.62. Efron second, and McLean of Freeport Aquin in 3rd. 6 titles individually, plus of course some relays thrown in along the way too.
Just an amazing weekend for this young man. What a dominant force, this Cairo team.
And that is the end of the active competition representing Cairo, because they're not in the 1,600 meters. So that is it. This is the final race run on the high school level by this amazing athlete, LaBeach Graves. And here is some IHSA track history right here, Lee. We get a chance to watch it firsthand.
In 5th place,
very powerful,
Georgetown.
Excellent form, maintains his relaxation right on through the finish line.
4th place, Dan Schisler, Avon.
Yes, he does let up a little bit.
Steve Bailey, Wheaton St. Francis.
So from the very southernmost point of Illinois, down at Cairo, where the Ohio meets the Mississippi, has produced one of the most dominating sprinters on either level the state of Illinois has seen. And the only thing, as we talked about in the early portion, how unfortunate it is because of the 2-class system. One of the unfortunate byproducts is you won't see him, of course, compete against the double A's.
It's true, Tom. I would favor a format that might allow for the top individuals and relay teams in both classes to come together.
All right, let's go now to the double A 200-meter dash, as the runners are at their blocks already. As in the double A, Eric Evenson of Morris is in 1, Brian Wilkinson of Plainfield's in 2, Kerwin Beatty, a sophomore from Proviso West, is in 3, Dwayne Wright of Downers Grove South in 4, Anthony Jones of Danville scheduled to be in 5, and he is at the blocks. LeGrand Suggs, who also pulled up in their last event, the 400 meters, he is in 6. There you see Jones. Reggie Patterson of Rockford East in 7, Robert Webb of Springfield Southeast in 8, Russ Bora of Libertyville is in 9. Jones, you see there, has the fastest time in double A in the 200. He ran 20.9 in the sectionals. He was second in this event a year ago to Tim Newsom at 22.08. And there's Dwayne Wright from Downers Grove South, the second fastest time at 21.4. And there is Suggs, LeGrand Suggs, East St. Louis senior, who has the 8th fastest time, running 21.7 in the sectionals. But again, both Jones and Suggs jogged in the end of the 400 meters. There's starter William Anderson.
With eight places scoring, I am sure both coaches hope to score 1 point. Of course, in the 400, Suggs was the faster of the two joggers. It'll be interesting to see what they do in this race.
Dwayne Wright from Downers Grove South. Anthony Jones of Danville.
Set.
And they're off. Jones is looking good.
He sure looks healthy right now.
Suggs is not. He's fallen back, but it's Jones. Jones off the turn. For Rockford East, that's Reggie Patterson. Here's Dwayne Wright coming up. White at the wire. Under 22 seconds. Dwayne Wright with a great finishing kick. Edges Anthony Jones at the wire. And there is LeGrand Suggs of the St. Louis senior. Oh, what a very impressive finish for that young man, Dwayne Wright of Downers Grove South. When it looked like Jones was about to close everybody out, one final burst of the afterburners.
He certainly looked better in that race than he did in the 400, but still, in the final stages, he didn't look strong. He still looked like he was being bothered by something.
Watch it from the start. There's Anthony Jones. And, of course, everybody said, well, maybe he had turned his ankle earlier in one of those earlier events. Boy, he looked smooth there. That head, solid, rock solid right there, making that turn. Focused. And here it's his race. But watch in the light blue, Dwayne Wright from Downers Grove South. Look, Jones reaching for something that's not there. He's reaching for it, and it's not there. There's Reggie Patterson of Rockford East coming up. And it's Wright, Jones, and Patterson. And there you see the 1990 champion in the AA 200, Dwayne Wright of Downers Grove South.
Until the conclusion of the Class AA race. Medallions also must be presented to the member.
East, please report to the awards area.
Now we're getting set for the final events of the afternoon. First of all, the Class A 4x400 meter relay, the 1600 meter relay. The fastest time in the state for Shelbyville. They ran in yesterday's qualifiers 3:25.57 to improve their time, their other previous best time, by nearly 5 full seconds. Shelbyville, they'll be running in lane number 5. Also in here, Seneca, they're in the wide over green in lane 1. Clinton's in 2. Muhammad Seymour in 3. Ileana Christian of Lansing's in 4. Stanford Olympia is in 6. Sherrard 7. Maple Park Canelan in 8th. And Rochester in 9. There is Seneca. Seneca's leadoff man. They have run 3:28.03. That was their fastest time run in the qualifying times yesterday, the 7th fastest time overall. In fact, we've got the top 8 performers in this event in this very final 1600 meter relay race. Conditions have grown progressively worse in terms of the clouds. The wind has picked up a little bit out of the south, but actually it cooled things off, made things much more comfortable for the runners. We had the sun breaking through for a while. But all in all, the officials today have done a great job getting this race off almost to the minute. In fact, they've even gotten ahead of schedule a few times. You see the flag there, just a gentle breeze, much unlike the 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds we had yesterday during qualifying. Shelbyville will be running the foursome of Chad Davis, Jared Roney, Eric Boyer, and a great anchor man in Jeremy Skinner.
In third place, Ron Miller.
Each runner will run one time around the track and then hand off the baton.
In second place.
And usually, Lee, this is the event where so many meets come down to. The final event, in fact, after 15 events, Cairo right now with 51 points to 29 for Luther South. Let's just say comfortably, Cairo Right now in the lead, and the battle has indeed developed for second. Luther South, Rochester, Monticello, and Canelan right now only separated by 4 points. That's with 3 events yet to be scored. So there are still 2 events behind in getting the totals up to us. We hope to have a good update for you going into the AA 1600-meter relay, because at our last checkpoint, the East St. Louis senior side had just gone ahead of Joliet West by a point, 47-46. But that's the way you want to see it, Lee. Come right down to the final event.
Well, Carroll is obviously going to be the winner. There's no surprise there, but as we told you at the outset, it was up for grabs for second, third places in this Class A meet. And of course, you've got both Rochester and Canelan still battling for that spot in this final 1600-meter relay. Just the way you would like to see the meet end.
All right, Bill Anderson, the starter, is now moving into position. There is the leadoff man for Maple Park Canelan. I believe that is Mike Price, a senior. Yes, it is. Canelan has had, I remember, a great sprinter years ago, Mark Claypool. What a dominating sprinter he was. There's Ileana Christian. Their leadoff runner is Steve McNary. This is the race, though, that where in other relays, Lee, they might juggle their best man, maybe lead them off, maybe run them second. Here, you definitely save your best for last. Your best quarter miler is definitely your last runner.
Well, of course, it depends on the talent that you have, but I always like to run my number 2 man, maybe second. I didn't want to get too far behind in this relay. Wanted to make sure we gave ourselves every opportunity to be up front.
That's true. You don't want to get yourself in such a position where your anchor man can possibly make it up.
No, we want to give him a fighting chance.
Runners are called to their blocks.
Set. Everybody up.
And the starter calls him up. Somebody appeared to be unsteady. Well, you know, earlier I saw Bill Anderson check the gun, and I was going to make a remark like, make sure it's loaded, Bill, and that time it misfired. It will happen with those 32 caliber blanks. Every once in a while you get a soggy one, and it just goes thud. Watch it again. Watch the inset. He pulls the trigger. And nothing happens. That's about the only misfire that has happened all day long in this meet. It has been so very well run by the hundreds of volunteer officials. You and I, former members of that crew, as they've all accused us of going Hollywood.
Set.
And the gun fires, and everybody is off on a fair start for the Class A 1600-meter relay.
And lane number 3, that's Muhammad Seymour, appearing to be your early leader.
Making up quite a bit of the early stagger is lane 3, Muhammad Seymour. Jason Preston, a junior.
Rochester in lane 8.
Also looking very strong out in lane 8, Mike Price of Maple Park Canelan. They will stay in lanes for the first lap and a third. The second man will be able to cut for the pole at the top of the backstretch.
Muhammad Seymour.
Still rather tightly packed, but Muhammad Seymour appears to have the early lead. They exchange the baton first, and exchanging at second, Ileana Christian.
In lane number 3.
Running for Muhammad Seymour, that's Chris Jennings, a senior. And he will have the lead as they will cut for the inside lane right now. And moving up strongly is Sherrard in the purple and yellow, Matt Vernau.
That is Muhammad Seymour. Sherrard.
Check that. Vernau is not the runner. Mike Harris has been designated as the second man. We have tentative lineups, folks, and we usually have to do some guessing,
Muhammad Seymour.
because they can change them right up to the time you fire the gun.
Followed by Sherrard. Sherrard.
It's Sherrard, Mike Harris, followed by Ileana Christian, then Shelbyville. Ileana Christian comes out of there with a baton. Running their leg is number 65, Steve Staggs. And now, that is Sherrard. David Williams. That is David Williams moving out now into the lead for Sherrard. Shelbyville's in third. Muhammad Seymour's in fourth.
Shelbyville. Muhammad Seymour.
Stanford Olympia right now running fifth.
And Stanford Olympia.
For Sherrard, David Williams.
Jeremy Skinner's going to anchor for Shelbyville, and of course he won the 800 meters earlier today.
And they're going to be getting the baton in great shape.
It's going to be even.
Final exchange. This is Sherrard.
For all practical purposes, dead heat between the first three, 2:36 with a lap to go. Anchorman for Ileana Christian. That is Matt Crudup, number 69. Jeremy Skinner goes in the second. Skinner, an outstanding middle distance performer, moves into the lead, but reacting well for Ileana Christian is Crudup. Sherrard still in the hunt.
On the inside, in green,
As running for Sherrard is Matt Virno. Matt Virno now moving on the outside. Skinner, Virno, along with Crudup. It's Virno, Matt Virno for Sherrard. It'll be Sherrard first. Second, Shelbyville. Third, Ileana Christian. And fourth will be Clinton. Unofficially, 3:25.72. That would not qualify as the fastest time, but for Sherrard, 3:25.72 would be their fastest. And what a time to do it when you're going for the gold in the state championship.
I tell you, these anchormen just ran a great race.
This is now the final exchange. For all practical purposes, even though a slight lead for Sherrard, it's a dead heat at the baton exchange. I mean, 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang. They all get it. And it's up to Veer now, along with Skinner and Crudup. And Ileana Christian looked to be very strong there, but Skinner trying to fend off Veer now, and he just can't do it. The expressions in the faces usually tell them all.
Well, you better believe it. You want your best athlete there if you can put him there, but you want, more importantly, your best competitor, and these young men just did an outstanding job.
So that is the Class A 1,600-meter relay, and there you see, yes, they win the gold. Sherrard takes the gold medal for the Class A 1,600-meter relay.
Oh, boy!
Yes.
Libertyville.
Oh, boy, that was awesome.
7th place, Ryan Wilkinson from Plainfield. In 6th place,
Let me breathe, he says. But the pictures and the sounds tell it all, folks. That's it. There's no feeling like it.
Congratulations, fellas.
Kerwin Beatty, Hinsdale, Chicago West. In 3rd place, Reggie Patterson, Oxford East.
All right, here's the AA 1,600-meter relay, and going into this event, East St. Louis Senior has 48 points, Joliet West 46. It's coming down to this, and yes, they are both in this event. East St. Louis Seniors in lane 3. There's Joliet West. They are in lane number 5. There are the Flyers right there as their leadoff man. They're off. It's going to come down to Joliet West and East St. Louis, and I'm sure both teams now that they've announced it over the PA system know very well what is going on.
Well, it's all on the line, and I love it. When it comes down to the mile relay, we're going to measure some character right now.
It is clearly
East St. Louis Senior clearly with the early lead.
They're ahead on point.
We'll think it's Antonio Henderson, we think.
It looks like Terry Collins from Joliet West, I believe.
Running very well.
Wheeling running well out in lane 9.
It'll be Cortez Nichols running second for East St. Louis as Henderson falls back just a little bit. Joliet West with a strong leg as Terry Collins hands it off. Running second for Joliet West, that is Mike Richards.
That is
They've still got Rich Waters yet to go running third. He's a great sprinter. They'll cut for the inside lane. Right now, it's Decatur MacArthur and Lamont Chambliss. Batavia is second. Joliet West is third.
New Trier moving up?
Yes, that is New Trier now moving into third.
New Trier moving into the third position. Your current leader still Decatur MacArthur. Batavia in second.
Decatur MacArthur with the lead. This is the halfway point. West is moved up to third. Running for Decatur MacArthur is Nathan Fonville. Running for Thornton, right now running in second, that is number 209, James Daniels. But now making a move is Joliet West on Thornton. Wheeling now is moved in the third, Batavia in the fourth. East St. Louis is still back in the pack.
The state title is on the line right here.
Joliet West could be in a position to win it right here. This will be the final exchange.
Senior got buried on that last exchange, and I'll tell you, they may not be able to recover.
The anchor leg for Joliet West, number 623, Darnell Jordan. It's Decatur MacArthur as West moves up in the second. Decatur MacArthur with a lap. Joliet West. Thornton anchoring for Thornton, Lewis Brown. Anchoring for Decatur MacArthur is Philippe Phillips. Phillips and Decatur MacArthur in first. Thornton now in second. Joliet West third. Eighth place is East St. Louis.
It's not over.
But they're now moving in the seventh.
It is Harvey Thornton, Joliet West, Wheeling.
We believe the anchorman for East St. Louis Senior is Anthony Kirby.
East St. Louis Senior, Batavia.
East St. Louis Senior making a move. Here is Philippe Phillips of Decatur MacArthur. Thornton and Lewis Brown. Here comes Joliet West.
Mercy.
Darnell Jordan. Darnell Jordan's going to win the state team title for Joliet West. They win it as East St. Louis finishes back in seventh.
Standing.
Oh my, that is
what a finish.
An amazing finish for Joliet West. A textbook way to win the state championship, Lee.
I'll tell you, they battled in there. They no doubt about it, they were going right after. East St. Louis Senior got buried on the second exchange and had a lot of traffic to run through, and I think it sure.
Let's go back and take a look earlier in the 1600-meter relay. This is the final exchange as Joliet West's Rich Waters hands off to Darnell Jordan. It was not exactly a smooth exchange.
Certainly wasn't.
With a comfortable lead seemingly for Decatur MacArthur was Philippe Phillips. But it would shrink rapidly as here we come down the home stretch. That's still a long distance to make up.
Oh, it sure is at this point in the race. We're talking world-class effort. Just super.
What a strong finish for Darnell Jordan. As with that move right there, not only did they win the 1600-meter relay, but unofficially, as far as we can determine, the 1990 AA Team Championship. I tell you what, to borrow a phrase from some well-known commercials, it don't get any better than that. That's the way you like to see the state meet finish, right down to the final race in the final 25 yards.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wow. That is just, what a note to finish the 96th running of the IHSA Boys Track and Field Championship. Coming up, we'll have the presentation of the state championship trophies. Coming your way, the exclusive coverage only on Sports Channel.
As the Bulls battle through the Eastern Conference Finals, Sports Channel will offer overlapping White Sox telecasts on a delayed basis or live on a separate channel. Wednesday night's White Sox game against the New York Yankees will be seen on a delay on Sports Channel at 10 p.m. so we can bring you the Bulls Eastern Conference Championship game number 5 against the Detroit Pistons live at 7. However, certain Sports Channel affiliates will carry the White Sox live at 7 on a separate channel. The list of those stations and their scheduled channel number is as follows. Take your place in history as Sports Channel showcases the last season ever at historic Comiskey Park. With over 60 history-making home telecasts, including the last ever baseball game from the Grand Old Ballpark on September 30th, the 1990 season will certainly be one to remember. Join Ken Harrelson and Tom Paciorek for each historic telecast from the house on 35th Street. Don't miss the last season ever at Comiskey Park, truly an American legacy. Catch the White Sox all season here on Sports Channel.
Hi, Pat Foley and Dale Talon, and we hope you'll be able to join us every Saturday night throughout the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll be here with Mike Keenan for Center Ice on Sports Channel, and normally every week we got a pretty full plate.
Full plate for sure. We'll have lots of highlights of all the Blackhawk games. We'll have highlights of the rest of the NHL playoff series and other interesting happenings around the league.
And we'll take you into the Blackhawk locker room, get reactions from players about how the Hawks are doing, and we'll see you every Saturday night, we hope, right here on Sports Channel. Hope you can join us.
And welcome back to O'Brien Stadium in Charleston. Tom Stalker, Lee Halberg with you. We had a tie for third place in Class A between Canelan and Rochester. There is Canelan receiving the third place trophy and the same trophy going to Rochester. Rochester won a coin flip. They'll take the trophy home tonight. Canelan will get a duplicate trophy within a couple of weeks or so. Second place goes to the Braves of Luther South, as they had a great, outstanding afternoon today. And the Pilots of Cairo with a commanding victory today in winning their make that their fourth championship in the last 8 years. And they win it convincingly today as 10 career first place finishes for LaBeach Graves. 6 individuals, 4 relays, and what a way he closed out with wins in the 100 and 200 today.
As we expected, they just dominated this Class A meet. Congratulations to Jim West at Cairo and his entire team. But as we said at the beginning, we didn't think the outcome would be in question. We just weren't sure how many points they'd score. They just had a great day.
And they scored 61 points today in winning the 1990 Class A State Team Championship. And we will award the AA trophies from O'Brien Stadium in just a moment.
Okay, we need go!
And in the AA level, third place, another tie between Danville and Waukegan West. And they had another coin flip to determine who will possess the trophy immediately and who will get a duplicate. But they finished tied for third. East St. Louis Senior finishing in second. And hail to the... as Danville right there is finishing tied for third. There's East St. Louis as the Flyers came up just a tad short. It came down to the final event. And hail to the champions from Joliet West. They had 5 individuals, 3 relays, Lee. They scored in every event. They had a second in the 400 relay. They won the high hurdles. They won the 1,600-meter relay. They finished 6th in the 800 relay, 6th in the 400. 3rd in the intermediate hurdles, and in the 2 field events, they got a second from Tony Marion and John Foskett a second in the pole vault. So they had quality points everywhere, and that is some tremendous depth. We talked about it at the start. Could somebody outlast their depth? Nobody could today.
Well, they stayed healthy, and they scored in an unusual number of events. They just did a great job across the board. East St. Louis losing Suggs was a factor, of course, but a great deal of credit goes to Joliet West. They were just solid throughout the entire meet.
At this time, Sports Vision would like to thank some of the people who made this event run so smoothly. From the Illinois High School Association, Executive Secretary Levere Astroth, Associate Executive Secretary H. David Fry, Assistant Executive Secretaries Charlene Brenberg, Ola Bundy, Jim Flynn, and Don Robinson. And, of course, a great thanks to Dave Kidwell and the entire Sports Information Office here at Eastern Illinois University. Coming up, one last visit back to O'Brien Stadium in Charleston on an eventful day of track here at the 96th Boys Track Championships. And it's come exclusively your way on Sports Channel.
Because Schaumburg Toyota, the Midwest's largest volume Toyota dealer, has exceeded every Toyota quota with 3 times the volume and 3 times the inventory, Schaumburg Toyota can now offer you maximum incentive savings on Toyota's 3 best sellers, with up to $1,200 in factory incentives on new Toyota Camrys, factory incentives of up to $1,200 on Toyota Tercels, and up to $1,200 in factory incentives on Toyota Corollas at Schaumburg Toyota, Toyota's factory incentive headquarters, 875 West Gulf Road. Hurry, sale ends June 4th.
Coming in June, stay tuned for non-stop action Sports Channel style. Don't miss the last season ever at Comiskey Park as the Red Hot White Sox continue their winning ways against the likes of Minnesota, Seattle, Oakland, and New York. Watch today's best high school athletes turn into tomorrow's champions as Sports Channel showcases thrilling IHSA championships all month long. See the best girls from Illinois compete against each other in softball and soccer, in addition to the top boys as they battle for titles in baseball and soccer. Hoops fans won't miss a beat with our exclusive national coverage of the World Basketball League. It's an exciting, fast brand of basketball with a 6-foot 5-inch height limit sure to keep the game moving. Plus, catch the Big Ten Track and Field Championships, live coverage of the 1990 National Hockey League Draft, NASCAR racing, and much, much more right here on Sports Channel in June. The Bulls have their horns pointed at Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and Sports Channel takes you courtside for all the playoff action. Live from the Palace of Auburn Hills, it's the Bulls against the Pistons Wednesday at 7. Will Chicago be able to shut down the powerful Pistons? It's the battle for the Eastern Conference Championship Wednesday. Live coverage begins at 6:30 with Bulls tonight. Catch the final stretch of the playoffs right here on Sports Channel. The 1980s and the Chicago White Sox, from the storybook season in 1983 to the end of the decade at historic Comiskey Park, the Chicago White Sox are a team of constant change and excitement. No baseball fan should be without this complete look at the White Sox over the last decade. Watch the power hitting of Harold Baines and Ron Kittle, the defensive wizardry of Ozzie Guillen, the relief pitching excellence of Bobby Thigpen, and standout performances by future Hall of Fame catcher Carlton Fisk. Remember when the Sox won the American League West by a record 20 games? Or Carlton Fisk's 2,000th hit? Or Tom Seaver's 300th career victory achieved in a Sox uniform? Don't miss this entertaining look back at the Chicago White Sox in the 80s. Order your favorite year with the White Sox for only $19.95. Catch the memories on tape from the Emmy Award-winning Youth and Experience to 1989's Tale of Two Seasons. To order, send check or money order to White Sox Highlights, P.O. Box 506, Oak Park, Illinois, 60303.
Our next IHSA championship will be Sunday, June 3rd, the finals in girls soccer. The executive producer for Sports Channel is Steve Corman. Today's event has been produced and directed by Bob Albrecht. Associate producer, Ron Stordo. Remote facility is provided by Trio Video of Chicago. Stay tuned for White Sox Weekly. I'm Tom Stalker saying good night for Lee Hallberg. Once again, the Class A champ is Caro. The Class AA champ is Joliet West. The proceeding has been an exclusive Sports Channel presentation.
Did you know there are more boats and boating around the Great Lakes area than just about anywhere else? I'm Jerry Winder, host for a program called Great Lakes Boat Listings. Now, here's what it's all about. Boating information. Interviews with interesting people. Special events around the Great Lakes area. And, of course, boat listings. So we invite you to watch Great Lakes Boat Listings. It's all about boats and boating around the Great Lakes area.
Only on Sports Channel.
We're talking it was the week of the home run ball for the White Sox. That's why they call him the Fudgeroo.
Way back, high and deep to left field. Sanders goes back, put it on the board. A 3-run homer for Carlton Fisk, and the Sox lead it 6-4.
We called it, we predicted it, we knew it all the time.
We're talking it was a great week for Danny Pasqua. We're talking it's White Sox Weekly with Jeff Torborg next.
Sports Channel presents White Sox Weekly, the official highlight show of the Chicago White Sox.
After 8 decades, this is the final season of play for the White Sox in the original Comiskey Park. And we want to hear your favorite memory of the house on 35th Street. Was it Babe Ruth's dramatic home run in the 1933 All-Star Game? A clutch play by Sox Hall of Famer Louis Aparicio? Or maybe a big hit by the legendary Minnie Minoso? You could win the grand prize of 4 golden box seats to the final regular season game in Comiskey, along with 2 actual grandstand seats from the old ballpark, and many other goodies, too. Write your glorious moment in 50 words or less and send it to Comiskey Memory in care of Sports Channel, P.O. Box 506, Oak Park, 60303. Judges will choose a winner each Monday on White Sox Weekly. That person gets 4 tickets to an upcoming Sox game, then becomes eligible for the grand prize. It's a chance to take your place in history by recalling your most memorable moment at Comiskey Park. Truly an American legacy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of White Sox Weekly. With Sox manager Jeff Torborg, I'm Tom Paciorek. And this week, we are at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Dearborn, Michigan, following Game 2 of the 3-game set with the Detroit Tigers. The Hyatt is the official hotel of the Chicago White Sox.